Pandas Find. So we use Pandas Find in order to find a substring within a series of strings. Now, this will return the location of a substring if it exists. Let's take a look at what this looks like. First thing that we'll do is we'll import pandas as pd, and then we need to come up with a series. Now, the series can be either a manual series like we're creating here, or it could be a column within a data frame. Our series includes San Francisco, Chicago, traveling, pandas, remote worker. And I'm also going to name our series string series. We're doing this in order to call it by name later. Let's run that. Now say that we want to find the substring Cago, C-A-G-O, within each one of the strings from our series above. In order to do this, I'm going to take my series that I just created above. I'm going to use .str, which is .string, which is then going to allow us to access a bunch of string functions. And the one I'm going to use is called .find. And I'm going to pass find with the CAGO substring. And what this will do is it will return the position of the substring if it exists. I'm going to store that within a find result variable, which will just be the series. I'm going to give that series a name, which is .find result, and then I'm going to print it out. Let's take a look. So here we have a series of values. We have some negative ones and we have some positive numbers. And you'll see that the series name is find result because we named it right here. But in order to look back and forth between our two series, let's actually concat these two in order to have them side by side. And what we'll see here is that San Francisco returns -1. And the reason why is because .find will return -1 when a subseries is not included within a string, or I'm sorry, a substring is not included within a larger string. And in this case, Cago, which we looked for, is not present within the string San Francisco. So we get a -1. However, Cago is included in Chicago, and it sits at position 3. Position 0, position 1, position 2, and you get position 3 right here. So that's how we return it. .find then returns -1 for the rest of these because there is no Cago within traveling, pandas, or remote worker. Okay? So let's try one more. Now say I wanted to find, instead of Cago, I wanted to find where the letter O sits within each one of the strings. And in this case, I'll call my series again, .string to access the string functions, and then find, and then O. And then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just concat this again so we can look at the result. Now, what we have here is we get 12 for San Francisco because it looks like O is the 12th character within San Francisco. 6 for Chicago because O sits at the very end right there. O does not appear in traveling. O does not appear pandas. And you can see here that O appears at position 3 for remote worker. Now, an important fact here is that find is going to return the first instance of your substring. So even though there's 2 O's for remote worker, it's returning the position of the first one for us. However, one of the parameters that find can take as a function is actually a start position and an end position. So in this case, I want to find O again within my series, but I want to tell find, start your find process at position 3 and end your find process at position 8. Let's take a look at what we get here. And as you can see, San Francisco now returns -1, meaning it did not find O within San Francisco. And the important part to note here is that although O sits within San Francisco, it does not sit within position 3 to position 8. So it's going to return a -1 for us. Chicago's the same, traveling and pandas are the same, and remote workers the same because O is within the realms of position 3 to position 8. And that is Pandas.Find.